Chris Hansen here, and I'm going to need you all to take a seat right over there and check out Birds versus Boys.
I think you're completely right here, and I hate it.
Yep. Hey, idiots. Stop doing dumb things.
I got 2 phones.
Upset alert. Upset alert. I might go insane.
I think you're already there. There's no hope. Hope is gone.
If this was an AFC North podcast, we'd be done in 15 minutes.
Bob Hope.
I'm going to drink bleach.
That is the team you promised me you were going to be this year.
This is the Consciously Hopeful podcast.
I'll be watching.
What's going on, everybody? Aidan from Birds vs. Boys here, and tonight we've got a special show for you. I'm joined by Tom Stakes, one of the biggest Eagles influencers on social media right now. He was boots on the ground at Lambeau Field for Monday Night Football. We wanted to bring him on and talk about that and everything else going on with the Eagles ahead of a huge Sunday Night Football matchup against the Lions. Tom, welcome home. You've been traveling nonstop for a week. I'm sure it's good to be back at home.
Yeah, I was like so happy to just on my drive back to my house see the Linc, and I was like, yes, like I needed, as cool as Lambeau was, I was happy to just get out of there with a win and get back home.
Mm-hmm. Probably one of the few times in your life you're like, thank God I'm on I-95 right now.
Exactly, yeah, exactly.
Well, before we talk about everything with this upcoming game, I think this is a huge preview game, but I'd love to know about the Lambeau experience. We kind of talked pre-show, but a lot of the people here, Eagles fans, have done the Linc experience. Not everybody gets to do the away game experience. So what was it like at Lambeau? Obviously a very different football culture there compared to here in Philadelphia.
Yeah, it was, to be honest, you'd be surprised like at how similar I actually found.
Oh, really?
The tailgate scene was awesome. I think the temperament maybe of the people. I feel like Philly gets a bad rep a little bit. I feel like it's very welcoming when you come in and you have a smile on your face, but just don't start any crap. But I thought it was very welcoming in a similar way with the tailgate scene, and it was awesome. I mean, I've been to a couple road stadiums, MetLife, FedEx, the local ones, and then I've been to Raymond James. I was at the old Metrodome. I've been to games in LA the first year that teams were in LA. We actually had the Chargers at the StubHub Center, which is a soccer stadium, and then we had the Rams, the game Carson Wentz tore his ACL at the Coliseum, the USC Stadium. So I've been at other areas and cultures and different things, and Lambeau was by far the best.
Really?
Best road stadium I've been at. I mean, it's pretty obvious to say it might be the best stadium in the NFL, honestly, and I expected it to be like kind of like old and historic, but you'd be surprised at how like modernized it is. It's amazing, and there's so much to do like around the stadium. Like there's a natural tailgate scene with cars parked and everything, and then there's this big bar outside called Tailgate Village, and there's like a concourse where everyone hangs out and drinks, and so lively. There's a bunch of like just different things to like go look at and see, and the statues, and it was just a crazy experience to be able to go somewhere that I grew up watching games on as a kid, big games on prime time with Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers, and I'm like, damn, I'm really here at this stadium watching a primetime game with my favorite team. And so obviously some of the battles the Eagles have had with them too. It all just brought that nostalgia back. So overall great. And then the club section I sat in, it was odd. I'm not used to not having crowd noise, and you're in like a soundproof behind glass club section. So I didn't get the full kind of feel of Lambeau, but I got to experience something that I never had before, which was sitting behind glass during a live football game. And that was quite the unique experience as well. So overall, an amazing time, an absolutely amazing time. And I would absolutely do it again. It was a rough travel. I had a hell of a travel, but went at the wrong time. But I had to drive 4 hours from Minneapolis after a bunch of flight cancellations. So I had to fly out there instead of getting a connector. And it was rough, the travel there. So one of my favorite, I think, parts of the trip, and I'll end it with this, is after the game, me and my dad came back to the hotel, and we've been to so many games together, over close to 70 in my life with him.
Wow.
And, I kind of we were in the hotel elevator going up to our rooms, and I kind of just leaned against the wall of the elevator and just took a deep breath, and he just put a fist out, like to give me a fist pound. It was like, we won, dude. You did
We
all
did
that
this.
to come out here, and we did it. So
Uh-huh.
I just was like, felt so relieved, and we've seen so many games with them, and it's always great to get another one in and get that W. So it was awesome.
That is awesome. That's like you said, it's such a sigh of relief where you put in all this effort, probably money too, between hotels, flights, and everything like that, to see the win, and you're like, okay, I did my part getting here. All the logistics paid off. I saw a good game, and my team won. Like when you're on the way back to the hotel, there's no better victory feeling than being like, I accomplished this. I pulled this off. That is cool to hear, though. Some of it surprised me. The way that they frame Lambeau, at least on social media or on TV, is it's kind of like this living museum, but it sounds more modernized than they give it credit for. And a lot of it, it's perceived as this huge NFL stadium in a suburban neighborhood, but it sounds more like they've got their own version of stateside live right next to the stadium and stuff like that.
But the neighborhood thing is true. I actually, before the game, I was pre-gaming at a buddy of mine's. His family did the game, so I went and we were hanging out. This Airbnb, it was like 10-minute walk from Lambeau. We could see Lambeau from the street, and I have a cool video of it where we're walking through the neighborhood toward Lambeau Field, and that was one of my favorite parts too, honestly, with like a Surfside in my hand, just sipping a Surfside, heading to Lambeau Field, like just right before it all started, and I just was so excited, and I pulled my back somehow in the hotel. I reached for my phone, and I just don't know what I did, but my back was all messed up, and I just felt like, all right, I need to get a couple more of these drinks in me, start feeling loose and feeling good. So it was it's quite the trip, quite the trip with some of the things I had to kind of do. But but all that it was all worth it.
You were playing injured. I saw that video that you posted. That's so surreal. Growing up in my town, it reminded me. It like blurred the lines of like high school football and professional football.
Yeah.
When I was young, when I'd go to the high school football games before you're playing football, if it was a big game, you had to park in the neighborhoods across the street, and you'd be walking towards the stadium through the neighborhood, and you'd see like the football lights in the distance. Your video reminded me so much of that because it's just roofs of houses and then Lambeau Field right above it, which is the coolest scene in the world.
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, definitely. I can't say enough about the overall vibe. Like because I always compare it to the Linc when I go to away stadiums. I'm like, thank God I just grew up an Eagles fan, and the Linc, that tailgate scene. Some of them are rough, but that was like, man, if I I love the Eagles, so don't it's not about that. It's just like, if I had that tailgate scene, I wouldn't be complaining too much. Like that would wet the whistle in terms of tailgating. So yeah, it's definitely a dope vibe.
That's cool. I did Buffalo one time, and I walked away with the same energy where I said to myself, they match the energy. Like this feels similar to an Eagles tailgate, different setting, different scenery, same tailgate vibes, which was awesome. And I thought to myself, if I had this level of tailgate, I'd be happy with who I am as a fan. So it's cool. So great experience at Lambeau. Most importantly, they get the win. We don't have to touch on it too much because I know we want to talk about this upcoming game, but I mean, my God, Jaelan Phillips and the defensive line. I feel I'm watching a rejuvenated line. There's so much to talk about from that game. All I can focus on is that defensive line looked like a Super Bowl caliber again.
Right. And I always say that. I said it last season. I know people will say, well, it was different. Said it last season. You don't really win the Super Bowl on your passing offense when everyone talks about that during the regular season. You win it on your pass rush. That's really what you win it on is your defense, your pass rush, the way you can disrupt at the line of scrimmage. And, there's obviously different ways you can win a Super Bowl, but it's kind of like in baseball. Everyone loves the home run hitters, but what wins the World Series is your pitching. And so I kind of compare it to that in a way. And when you see how many athletic edge rushers we have in a rotation and the D tackles are playing well and the front seven as a whole is playing well, you really have to have confidence. Now, I know we're probably going to get into the whole A.J. Brown, the offense and all that thing, but I'll touch on it quick.
Have to.
Yeah, I mean, I'll touch on it quick here. I understand the frustrations, but yes, it's refreshing to hear someone say Jaelan Phillips and the D-line. And so as a fan, it's like, let the offense figure it out. They've got my
Mhm.
trust, and I want to talk about who did shine in the game. I don't want to spend all week miserable talking about what we could do better. I just want to talk about the guys that deserve to get a little bit of shine and that don't get talked about often, because usually it is the Saquons, the AJs, the Devontaes, the Jalen Hurts that get all the shine and get talked about the whole time. So it's great to hear other names and know that we can win in many different ways. Hey,
Mhm.
offense kind of wasn't playing well. Okay, defense stepped up, and I'm sure it'll be the other way around at times, and that's just how football is. So I was really, it was a stressful game, and I think I just tweeted earlier, so the amount of times I just kind of like put my head on my forehead on my dad's shoulder and was like, we stink, dude. Like we were just like laughing at, we're like, this team is just, what are they doing? And but when you look back on it, you're like, man, the defense was awesome. They played with
Mhm.
effort. They played with heart on the road. Team just came off a loss, the Packers, that is, and they don't want to lose two at home. You just heard me describe the whole
No.
tailgate scene. They're intense. That fan base expects the same thing that we do. That team and organization is
Especially
not.
now.
They're not a rollover, right? They're a contender. So many Micah Parsons jerseys walking around. Like that guy is like God there now. Like they love that guy. He was playing well. Didn't make any big plays in the sacks and all that, but he was rushing Jaelan out of the pocket. So I think their defense played very well too. So just to see us be able to win a defensive battle when the defense was really the question coming into this year,
Mhm.
it's like I trust the offense. They get it. They always get it going. And
I
if
feel
AJ
the
has to
same.
put the pressure on them, they'll do it. But the defense is impressive, man. They're impressive, and if they can keep clamping, the offense only has one choice but to get better, and that's what's going to happen. So I was very impressed with the defense when I looked back after laughing through the pain of Sirianni
Yeah.
going for that fourth down at the end and some of the offensive drives. I'm like, man, this defense was awesome, and that reminded me of some early 2000s football, and that's the era
Oh
I grew
yeah.
up on and I love. So I liked it.
I loved it. The baseball analogy that you mentioned couldn't be more true than right in this moment, considering our baseball team held Shohei Ohtani to one hit in a series in the playoffs and still lost because of how good the Dodgers pitching was.
Right.
So you're right, like having those defenders be able to get home. And it was like the different ways that they did it, because Josh Jacobs scored that touchdown late once they had to switch to no huddle because they were
Right.
down 10-0 late.
Pressing.
But they really didn't. He didn't get going.
Mm-hmm.
And in short yardage situations, the obvious one was that 4th and 1 where Jomo's calling it out, but there was not a lot of running lanes.
Right.
And I thought they took the physicality to Green Bay. And I hope it doesn't get misconstrued when I say something like, if AJ had 8 for 108 and a touchdown in that game, and the defense looked bad, but we still won, I think I'd be worried, because I have seen half of a season now where I'm worried about the defensive line.
Mm-hmm.
But seeing that defensive line play the way that they did, where that felt like a playoff atmosphere, prime time, night game, on the road, cold weather, good team that wants to stress running the football, and they brought the physicality to them. That was my main takeaway. It's like, man, we met the moment with those guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's very well put. Very well put. It. That's exactly what I say about Green Bay as a matchup problem for anyone, but
Mhm.
us especially, because they do what we do. They commit to the run no matter if it's working or not. So they make you
Yeah.
respect that. They're physical. They're fast on defense, and the defenses both were kind of a step ahead of the offenses. But how about our secondary too? I mean, Jordan
Yes.
Love is a lollipop thrower. He is a close my eyes and chuck it up. Like he throws a lot of lollipops, and a lot of times you get penalized. You get someone makes some big play at some point, and there were so many opportunities, and it was Makuba making plays and Quinyon and
Mhm.
Reed, and like you got to be impressed with these young D backs. Cooper DeJean had a so and so game, but I really thought some of those D backs were hawking back there and making sure those big plays there was bodies around them and making them either make a tough catch or breaking it up. And I think that was one of the big differences in the game. So and that has a lot to do with the D line as well, because Jordan Love is really good at moving in the pocket and being elusive and stepping up. But they had to kind of make him do that so we could get enough of those opportunities for him to throw up. And sometimes they turn into interceptions. It didn't necessarily happen in this game, but that's the way you beat a quarterback like that, and I think that's going to come in handy when it comes to the playoffs. You can move a guy off his spot, make him make mistakes, and they'll come. And we did strip them a few times. He had Jordan Love made a bad play in the pocket, fumbling, and Josh Jacobs on that fourth down. So the fact that we just played so in their face, like you said, just came right for them, just like they were coming for us. We didn't back down, and I was proud of that.
Love looked uncomfortable. It's rare that you say that about an NFL quarterback, but I just felt this is no slight to him. I think he's a good quarterback. He has these plays that I would rip my hair out if he was my quarterback sometimes, like that hot potato fumble.
It's like a Jay Cutler type quarterback where you're like, don't throw it. Oh, good throw. But then you're like, don't throw it. Why'd you throw it? So it's like a give and take kind of system. And that fumble was brutal. Took a field goal off the board pretty much. You make a guy like that make some mistakes, and you're probably going to win. Now, I don't think Jaelan looked too comfortable either. I thought their D-line did the same thing. So it was just one of those games,
It was championship level defense. I thought our offense could have been better, but I did think that the Packers had a championship level as advertised defense. Let's pivot to the game this week because I think we just talked about turnovers. I think that'll be the name of the game this week. I'll hit you with this because we follow each other on social media, and I think you and I are in the top tier of positive fans.
Yeah.
I am very high on this team. I'm just a positive fan in general. I have a take, and I can't get it out of the back of my head, and I need you to get me off the ledge.
I'll see what I can do.
This game reeks of the 2023 San Francisco 49ers game.
No.
Because it's like the team that feels slighted, that they should have been in the Super Bowl, so they've got a chip on their shoulder and they want revenge. And the Eagles have been good this far, but they're winning close. They're not winning in dominant fashion. So you're at home. They're coming to our house, and they're going to be amped up in prime time. And there's a chance, I will say, if they win this game going away, I don't want to hear about 2023 ever again, right? But I can't get it out of the back of my head right now.
Yeah, I hear you. I like. It's the mirroring of it sounds right, but I'll take you off that ledge. Vic Fangio, Zach Bond, Kobe Dean, Jahad Campbell.
Yes.
These linebackers are not kids' toys. This is not Nick Morrow. This is not whoever Shaq Leonard was running around out there. Deebo Samuel was tearing us up, and I don't think they're going to get pushed around. I don't see this kind of this defense. You got the cornerbacks. I mean, James Bradbury was in there. Slay. Look, I love Darius Slay. I'd take him right now on this team, but he's not physical.
No.
I'd say that. He's not physical, and neither is James Bradbury, and they got pushed around. And I think that this team has a little bit more toughness and maybe more mental toughness after going through what they went through. I think that built a lot of character, that stretch and that season, and I don't think they're going to fold like that. I hope not. Jeez, that would be really bad. That would be really bad. But no, I do think that they are and the Lions are coming in smoking hot too. I mean, they just dropped 44 on the Commanders. I think the toughness, especially at the linebacker position, and then obviously on the D line as well. We just talked about the edge rushers and all that. So I think that I think the 49ers were definitely the best team in the NFC that year.
Yeah.
And so, this is, and I think Detroit and the Rams are both very good opponents for the Eagles. But yeah, it's put up or shut up time for the Eagles to really start making their move in this conference. And there's games ahead of them right now, just like in that 2023 season where, you win a couple of these and you're looking at a 1 seed because these are all your tiebreakers right here. You got the Packers, you got Tampa, you got the Rams already. So we'll see. We'll see if they break or if they show that they're, like you said, past the 2023 season. I mean, they kind of showed it last year. We obviously know that, but after a Super Bowl adrenaline dump, after all that, I know it was a loss and a win, a little different stories, but we got to see, man. Are they breaking right now, or are they coming together? And so I think this is a big game to see that. And I kind of said that earlier. I literally text my group chat because they're all talking about the AJ thing and my buddies, and they're all saying this and saying that. And I said, listen, man, I don't care what anybody says. If we beat the Lions, I don't want to hear another word. Because then who's messing with us in the NFC? Who's messing with us? We beat everybody. And I said, Sam Darnold, okay, yeah, sure, bring him to Philly. I don't want to hear about it anymore. So this is a big game. This is the biggest game of the year, and it's the biggest game in Philly this year. And I'm super excited. But, yeah, I mean, it's one to keep that in the back of your head and don't let it come out until all the zeros are on the clock, and it's either coming out this way or it's coming out this way. So
if we win, I feel like a spell will be released from my body, and it'll just be like a spirit will just ascend and just go, and it'll be in the universe away from me forever.
Yes. The ghost of 2023.
The ghost of 2023, the ghost of Christmas past is gone. I don't have to worry about it ever again. I've learned my lesson. You're right, though. I mean, one, it's so funny because I was trying to think of Shaq Leonard's name all day. I was like, who was that linebacker who there was an arms race between us and the Cowboys to get him in 2023? I could not remember his name, so it's so funny you brought him up. But whereas our problem now is our linebackers are so good, they don't know when and where to play Jihad Campbell. So it's a little different this time around. That always helps. The tiebreaker thing you mentioned, though, I think is huge. I think if they win this game, I know they'll be the odds-on favorite, and that's selling it short because they'll then have tiebreakers over the Lions, the Bucks, the Rams, the Packers, and the Seahawks and the Rams are playing each other this week. These teams are going to start taking each other out. Lions and Packers still have to play each other again. So all those teams are going to have to start taking each other out, and if they don't have these tiebreakers against us, it really gets dicey for them to get this 1 seed. So, man, we win this one. We look good on offense, win this one. I am over the moon because I think we are, again, driver's seat is putting it lightly.
Yeah, and it doesn't hurt that our division is horse crap, to put it lightly.
Yeah.
They're not going to be taking, and nobody in our division is going to be really taking us out, and we're not competing with them really for playoff spots either way. So, I mean, yeah, like you said, it's going to get dicey for those divisions that are really bubbling because some of those teams are going to, people are like, oh, Seattle. Well, what if Seattle has to come to Philly? Like, what if they're a wild card team and they have to go to LA? Like, what? You never know. Like, people are talking about matchups before we even know really what's going to happen. And all I see is the Eagles are the 1 seed right now. And if they just focus on getting the 1 seed, someone's going to come to them wounded and weak because they're going to be in blood games for the rest of the season fighting for those spots.
You're facing a gauntlet because even a 2-7 matchup this year, I don't know who I would choose of all these playoff teams. It would be 50-50 me with all these teams. Even if we were in the game, it'd be tough.
Isn't it funny that they all talk about, like, I just saw a tweet actually today, the Eagles, you can be sold on them, they're winning, but the NFC is so deep and tough. It's like, why does that only apply to us? We're the team that's beating everyone. Everyone, it's deep and tough, so they're going to be ripping heads off. These are going to be really, really tough games from here on out, and we're the only team that seems to beat everybody. So let's ease up off us a little bit here.
I feel like we've lost the plot of on-field results where the offseason comes and we do these preseason predictions, and every year it's the same. It's not the Eagles, and somebody's going to overtake the Eagles. Somebody has to do it. I feel like it's the end. You ever see the movie Four Brothers where they're on the frozen ice and he's like, well, who's going to do it? Like, who's going to take me out? We're the bad guy at the end of Four Brothers. Like, someone has to do it and knock me out. And Mark Wahlberg comes from the frozen tundra. But somebody has to do it. And until then, all the talking heads being so adamant about, it's so tough. It's really tough for the Eagles. It's like you said, it's tough for everybody.
Yeah. And we're the one that's winning. So, and I like that. I always like that saying, that the most simple saying that's all over social media all the time. It's like, it's everybody's better than the Eagles until it's time to be better than the Eagles. Like it literally applies so perfectly. Like I just saw someone say the other day about the Rams. Like they said something like, the Rams are the best team in the NFC. Look at the stats and metrics and this and that. And someone's like, yeah, but the Eagles beat them. And they're like, and I guess Eagles fans were flooding the comments. So he kind of replied to his own thing and was like, Eagles fans found this, and really all they can say is that they beat the Rams, but nothing else. I'm like, isn't that all that matters? Like, what do you mean? That's all we can say. What does that mean? Like,
what more is there to say than
literally.
on a field, in battle, in competition, we won the game?
Right.
We've lost the plot with this sometimes.
Like, all these stats say the Rams are better, and all you can say is that you beat us. It's like, okay, I guess I'll say we beat you then, but have fun with the stats. It's just, I don't know.
We don't throw parades at the end of the year for projecting to be good. It's results on the field.
Yep.
Well, this game, I do think this will be a tough game. Like I mentioned, to me, this is turnover battle. This is that defensive line we talked about getting home on Jared Goff. I really respect the Lions offense. I thought it might take a step back with the loss of Ben Johnson. It seems, at least after week 1, they've settled in. And I think on the road, getting pressure on him, forcing him into a fumble and an interception, you get 2 turnovers on him, I'm feeling great. I'm feeling 10 out of 10 about our offense pulling it off then.
Yeah, I think the big thing with Jared Goff is that he's not mobile. And I think you see that affect teams in the playoffs and in big games. To have a mobile quarterback is like having like an ace up your sleeve. You know, it's like that last thing. If everything else is covered up and not working and this and that, the quarterback can make something happen. And so if you're relying so much on just Goff to kind of stand back there and throw the ball 30 sometimes, I have faith in our defense to stop that. But I think first things first, we're going to talk a lot about Goff, and everyone loves this passing game thing, but got to remember, I mean, just like the Packers, the Lions are a running football team. They have two really good running backs. And so you got to earn the right. I love Nolan Smith always says this. You got to earn the right to rush the passer by crushing the run. And they stop that run, and they're all over it, and our crowd's into it early, and they're a little rattled up, and they can't run, and they abandon the run, and we get them to start throwing a little too much in a nice cool night in November in Philly. I think that's the key to winning the game. So it starts with stopping the run, and then it ends with getting to Goff and getting him rattled. And that's just a basic formula that really wins you any game. But when it's a great team like the Lions, it's a lot easier said than done. So they have to go out there and put it on the field. And then, our offense, I think, this defense can be had. We got to block it up, and I think we run the ball well. We throw the ball well, be efficient. Big plays will come, and just feed off that crowd energy, feed off that crowd noise, and take advantage of that.
Absolutely. Like you mentioned, it's a run-first Lions team, and I think it's a creative offense. Everybody knows that, but I think the creativity and the aggressiveness comes when they're given the opportunities. They seize those opportunities. But if you're in 3rd and 12, it becomes very hard to run this trickeration. They're not set up well to have these 4th down aggressive plays. You know, if they're on the plus side of the 50, they're not going to be punting like the Packers did. But again, if you have them in 3rd and 11 because they weren't able to run the ball successfully on early downs, all of a sudden that isn't a part of their game. If they're heavily reliant on Goff to, like you said, throw it 35 times instead, then I feel like we're really honed in on defense. And offensively, we'll talk about A.J. Brown here in a second, but to me, I know what we saw in Green Bay. And I know it's 6 days apart, and I know there's 4 offensive linemen on the injury list right now, but we watch this team every week. We've watched this team my entire life. I've watched every Jalen Hurts start. I know that after a performance like that, they usually come back and steady the ship offensively every time. Every time they have a bad offensive performance, they come back and steady the ship.
Yes, absolutely. I was just thinking about that earlier before we even got on to record, thinking like, how am I going to articulate my mindset when it comes to this A.J. Brown and how the offense, not even A.J., just how the offense is playing. And my mindset is basically based in the trust I have in the team. Like, as a fan, I don't feel like right now I have to worry. I've been through so many Eagles eras. Maybe that's where maybe there's some fans that just like panicking through every single era, no matter what. But I tweeted before, the Super Bowl changed me as a fan. And this one specifically, because this team is still so good. They were good before it. They're good after it. And so they earned my trust. Years ago, when we were making some mistakes, I just had to say, man, maybe we just suck. And I refuse to say things like that with this team. I don't care who the offensive coordinator is. I don't care about any of that stuff. Like, I just think that this team eventually figures a way to get themselves into competing for a championship. And I know they've done it twice now. They had a collapse year. We know that. I'm just very confident in Jalen Hurts, the leadership on this team, the guys that have been here to get it right. And like you said, because there's evidence to prove it. We've seen it. We don't. I just don't feel the need as a fan to worry about these guys. If I felt like I did, I would worry about it and I would say it. But I don't feel the need to do that. I feel like I'm happy that AJ and these guys are hungry and want to go get it. That's why I can enjoy a win where I'm like, okay, they're going to fix it, but I'm going to enjoy Jalen Hunt. I'm going to enjoy Jaelan Phillips' debut. I'm going to enjoy the defensive battle. I'm going to live in that, and I'm not going to spend time worrying because I know these guys are going to get it done. So they'll get it fixed. They'll come out, and if the Lions get our defense and our defense is had by the Lions and they're playing well, then our offense will answer that, and they'll bail them out this time if that's how you want to say it. Just like the defense has had a hand in some of these wins when the offense wasn't working at full throttle, you know? So we saw it last year. We saw it years past. I'm confident.
I know these are just buzzwords, but I think it does mean a lot. Just the pride and competitiveness that you see from these guys on offense. In a way, it might be the root of the A.J. Brown problem, but there's just so many guys that strive for perfection. And in a game like this, where it is essentially an all-star game with both of these offenses, I think every guy in that locker room is excited for this game. You're telling me prime time, both teams are saying we got to get to 30 at least to win this. I feel like if you're an offensive player, like this feels like your time to shine, and the talent on this team, like you said, you just have to trust. And over the years, even on Monday night when nothing's going right, I'm nervous because I want to win, but deep down, I'm just thinking, yeah, we got it. Yep. I just trust Jalen Hurts more than I trust Jordan Love right now. And I'm going to feel the same. That's going to kick off, and I'm like, yeah, I just trust Jalen Hurts more than Jared Goff. That's it. That's it, and that's all.
And that's the beauty of any game, but especially going to a game at the Linc or even watching, anything. There's all this noise all week, and then right when the ball is kicked off, it just becomes the game. And you're in there to win it, and you're trusting the team, and you're happy and excited, and that's what we do this for, to feel that escape for that 3 hours and go do something bigger than anything we can control. And it's up to those guys to get it done. And always, like you said, we were sitting there nervous, like putting my hands in my over my face and shaking my head, and I'm surrounded by Packers fans, and then bang, hits Devontae Smith for a touchdown. And I just was like, I was like, I was sitting there like, I know it's going to get dicey. There's 10 minutes left on the board. Like I already know it's going to get dicey. I know this is good. They're going to come back down the field on us. It's just like so obvious. And I'm just like, I'm dreading it, but I'm just like, I know we're going to win this game. I just
There may be no better example of our playmakers make plays in the biggest moments than that game where nothing went right for either offense. And then Saquon spun his way out of on a third down conversion for 40. And the very next play, they go up top to Devontae for a touchdown who, high points the ball as he does so well and scores a touchdown. And it's just like, I just trust that core of guys to do it in every big moment now.
Right. Whether it's to score 10 to win, well, they'll get that 10. If it's 30, they'll make that play a few times then. Like they figure it out every game in that way, and it's like they step up in the moment. And I'll tell you what, when I watched Jalen Hurts' press conference today and I saw some people tweeting and I saw somebody said something that really stuck with me, it was like, a lot of these guys would crack under the kind of pressure and scrutiny that he's had his whole career, especially in Philadelphia, even after winning a Super Bowl. And it just doesn't happen. He just doesn't break. He never wavers. He's this. Whatever people think about his skill set, I'll sacrifice that for what he has up here and in here. And you can't measure that. It's like, it's unreal, and he's only 27 years old, so it's impressive beyond words, honestly.
This is such a funny. You brought up him being 27, and I know we all do this. I was literally laying in bed last night, and the internet on the TV wouldn't work, so there was nothing. I couldn't watch TV, so I'm just sitting there alone with my thoughts. I'm like, we're really in the golden age. Like, how old is Jalen Hurts? How many years left of this do I have? So it's so funny you say he's only 27 because I was truly contemplating how old he was as of last night.
Yeah, no, that's funny that you say that too, because it's like I'm thinking, because I'll just be like randomly like thinking, walking around like, man, if Jalen Hurts can play like to this level at till he's like 34, we have like 7 years, like yeah, it's you always say, and you're like, man, like these kids being born, will kids get to experience Jalen Hurts? Like I look at my like pictures in my Eagles cave that I have at my house, and I have Jalen Hurts and all these guys on the walls, and I'm like, it's gonna be so sad in like 15 years when I still live here, and all this is like memories, like the Jalen Hurts era. It's just, it's like, yeah, I can't do the complaining. Like, look, I love it. AJ, make people uncomfortable. Sometimes there's that guy on the team that's just so good, and he's like, yo, shape up, and you're like, damn, AJ told me to shape up. Like, maybe he's right. Like, I stink right now. And like, he's like a superstar. Like, this guy's like the best receiver in the league, and it's like one of the top receivers in the league, and he's telling us to shape the hell up. He's getting on streams and calling us out. It's like, yeah, it makes people uncomfortable. Yeah, do it if you have to, AJ. I don't care. Do what you got to do. But me as a fan, I'm going to enjoy the moment because it's not my job. It's just my hobby. It's funny people online are like, well, you're not on the team, but you don't watch film and you don't. I'm like, yeah, sometimes like, what am I on the team or not? Because you're like telling me I'm not on the team because I say we. I'm like, yeah, we won. They're like, you're not on the team, but also watch all this film and analytics and stuff. I'm like, can't I just be a fan sometimes if I'm not on the team? Let me relax sometimes. So it really is internally a conflict because I'm like, yeah, I want them to be better, but do I really want to like crash out all week over this stuff? Like, I want to enjoy it sometimes, man. Like, I've sat through too much BS to like not enjoy this. So that's kind of it's an internal conflict, but I trust these guys, man. At the end of the day, I trust them, and I can enjoy a win because I trust them to get right.
I trust them. And you brought up people being like, well, you're not on the team. I've seen the TikTok comments. They sure seem to act like I'm on the team when we lose. It's a different energy.
Yeah.
Like they're coming to me like, I'm not out there wide receiver, but
yeah. Oh, it's funny, man. I was saying that, before, like, people are mad at me because I'm not miserable. Like, my temperament's not going to change anything. Like, I trust the guys to get angry and get it going, man. Like, they'll get it right, but man, sometimes you got to enjoy it. And I always say to any younger fan that's listening or that's on my Twitter or anything like that, you're in a crazy age where you're not even talking wins and losses. You're talking good wins, bad wins. That's your wins and losses is like a good win and a bad win, and that's actually a blessing. Like, I remember when it was, going 4-12 and having to go to every game, and some of those dead end seasons, like an 8-8 or 7-9, and I've sat through too many of those to complain, man. It's just not in my DNA. But I want to see him improve. I mean, sure, who doesn't? Every you got to improve everything all the time. It's never a moment where you can think you've arrived in the NFL. And Jaelan always says that, and I know that's how they all feel, and that's why they're pro athletes. So, but as a fan, I'm happy. I'm happy with 7-2. I'm happy with the 1 seed. I'm happy with the tiebreakers. I'm happy that the gauntlet schedule that we got, we're tearing through right now. The losses that we have were to some fluky BS against the Giants who aren't even relevant, and the Broncos who are an AFC team, which I wish we beat them, but whatever.
And that game, I'll never be over that with some of the calls in that game. I walked away and I was like, I don't have many complaints about the Eagles after that one.
Right, yeah. And sometimes you lose a game and you're like,
and that happens.
If all that crap has to happen for us to lose, then so be it, And that's usually like how losses are for us. Like, a guy gets injured, like Kenny Pickett, Washington last year, or we had a bunch of missing guys against Tampa, or the Atlanta game where we just couldn't do anything right and let Kirk Cousins come down the field. Like, it's like the losses we do have are so, like, that's what I find unsustainable. Now, I think this year's been very crazy. I think we've played a lot of really good teams, and we've doled out a couple wins that were like, maybe you could have been better. Maybe you got away with one there and maybe struck a little doubt in you. But as the season rolls on, it's like I just get more and more confident that these guys are going to start playing better. And sometimes it's getting hit and getting up and finishing the fight. So I think that's what they got to focus on doing. I hope it's what they're going to do, and I think it is what they're going to do.
I think it is what they're going to do, too. I'll leave you with this because I'm also at the most confident I've been in this team after that win. The A.J. Brown thing, I'm not going to make it in this media world because I don't have a take on it at all. I don't think anybody's wrong, and I don't know if anybody's right, because everything AJ said, he's right. They have to get him the ball more. They should be able to scheme him open. Why is it that when teams don't play man, they can't get him the ball? He's right. Now, I would love, to be honest, like 1 week going without having to like see a tweet, an Instagram post, a Twitch stream where he has 100% support. And I feel like the more he comments on it, he starts to lose that support. But again, he's not wrong. So I listen to all of it and I just think to myself, yeah, nobody's wrong in this situation. And if they come out and they start to execute better and get him the ball more against Detroit, look out. Look out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I totally agree with that. It's another thing that I'm internally conflicted about. Like I said, I want him to be himself. I want him to make people uncomfortable. If that's how he's a leader, then that's how he's a leader. He's a captain. We don't know him personally. The guys in the locker room do. And last year when he did it, I mean, this isn't the first time A.J. Brown's come out in the media and said some stuff and stirred some stuff up. And we won a Super Bowl last year, so I can't argue with that leadership style if that's his leadership style. I remember it's funny because everyone looks at Malcolm Jenkins as a very mature, humble guy, and he definitely is. But he would get in the media, and I remember him saying some harsh stuff about like some of our young corners. He said like, yeah, you know, in this league they're gonna test you because if you can't play, they're gonna see that you're like, you know, you can't swim in the water with the Sharks or something along that lines. And I'm like, man, is that gonna make Sidney Jones and Rasul Douglas feel good? Like that's probably gonna make them a little uncomfortable to hear that Malcolm's just like, yeah, man, get out there and like, we'll see if you got it, kid. Like it's like, dang, but that's what AJ's doing. He's like, get me the ball, man. Like what's going on? Like we got to be better. Why is our defense having to win us games? Like I'm the guy. Like I want the ball. Like I want to win games. Like we can win games on offense. What is happening? So if that makes people uncomfortable, then so be it. But I at the same time, like you said, I kind of do wish at times it would not leak into the public as much. And he, you know, but he wears his heart on his sleeve and he's emotional. And I love him for that. So it's kind of like the thing, you know, that you feel like you hate someone for is also the reason that you love them. And it's, you know, that kind of like inner conflict with it. And it's like, if that's who he is, then that's who he is. And it's something that I think our quarterback can deal with. And I love Nick Sirianni this morning getting fired up and just yelling at reporters. I think it's hilarious.
He finally hit his breaking point. It's like, I'm done. It must be tough if I were at my job and they just asked me the same question 6 times in a row. I think I'd lose my mind because somebody asked me twice and I'm ready to lose my mind.
Yeah, I probably have before. I've definitely grown frustrated with plenty of things. I mean, I'm on Twitter literally answering every single comment and I'm saying the same thing over and over. Dude, why are you defending Kevin Patullo? I'm not. I'm saying it's a collaborative effort. He's not excluded, but he's not exclusive. Dude, why are you defending Kevin Patullo? I'm not. It's like it's the same thing over and over. I'm like, dude, like, geez. So I feel it with Nick Sirianni, with this whole team. But you know, hey, listen, I'll tell you this. And my friend said this earlier. It was funny. He was like, listen, if Sirianni and Hurts are sick of the AJ Brown stuff, then get him the damn ball. Get him the ball. Just get him the ball. Like that's it.
Yeah.
Shut him up.
This feels like the easiest quick fix of all time.
Yeah.
The top 5 receiver in the league, let's just throw him the ball.
Yeah.
I think it would solve everybody's problem. Yeah. Everybody goes home happy.
Yeah, give him those 5-6 little slant passes and let him pop one, maybe go over the top on him a couple times. I mean, whatever. We could probably play a game in the regular season where we force the ball to AJ Brown, and if it hurts us, then it hurts us, and we can probably still win a game with that. So figure it out. Maybe not this week. Maybe try to kind of work him into the game plan. But maybe against like the Raiders in a couple weeks, we can just kind of chuck like 6-7 balls up to AJ Brown. Just hope he makes plays, and if we end up messing up, then we'll probably win anyway. So who knows? Who knows?
Our offense. On the one drive where it operated the best, they got him with a little curl route, it looked like. Gain of 7 on first down, 2nd and 3. Whole offense is there for you. You can run the ball, pass the ball, RPO to Goddard like they like to do on 2nd and shorts.
Yep.
Everything's there for you.
Yep.
So it doesn't always have to be the home run shot to him, but something like that always works.
I think
feels like we've got all the ingredients in the pot. to stir it up, sugar, spice, and everything nice. I think we can do this. I think we can figure it out.
Yeah. I think they're going to simplify things and get him a couple of those manufactured little quick passes. And I think sometimes, I mean, again, this is not a Kevin Patullo thing or a specific one coach or anything, but I think when you have that many mouths to feed, it's almost like you kind of forget. You're like, man, we could just like, instead of running here, maybe give AJ a quick ball and like get it to 2nd and 7 or 2nd and 6. Mix that stuff in, and it's gonna hit. It's gonna click at some point. It'll be something that it will come to them, and it's frustrating, obviously, to everybody. But sometimes you got to learn. You got to lose to learn, and I think they're not losing the games, but kind of struggling on offense. It's gonna make them better in the end. So I think they'll figure that out.
And I think so. I think I get frustrated with the offense like everybody else does, but with Patullo, I made this analogy the other night, but when you do something for the first time in life, you do it slower. You react slower. When you learned how to drive, you'd stop at a stop sign, you'd stay for 3 seconds, you'd look both ways, you'd look again, right? Now you're kind of like, oh, I'm adjusting the radio, I'm kind of slow rolling through it, but you're more equipped because you've been driving forever. He's calling the plays for the first time. So he's reacting like a driver who has not driven many times. And as the season goes, you'd like to see progress. So if they live and learn off of that and he starts to get more comfortable with his play calling in the back half of the year, I would not be shocked at all if he starts to have a better game pulse.
Yeah, that's a great way of putting it. I made the same analogy with Jalen Hurts as a first-year starter. Everyone was, up in arms about, how he was playing early in that year. And there was a game against Dallas, I think it was. He had a meltdown early in the season. It was a terrible game. We got blown out. And I think he threw the ball like 40-some times or maybe 35 plus, something like that. And I said, man, this coaching staff is not letting Jalen Hurts, it's like he's a first-time driver, and you need to have him go on the back roads to get a feel for the car before you throw him on the busiest highway in the city and say go at rush hour and say go at it. So, that's the same thing with any first year. You have to make them comfortable, and that's another reason I don't like the whole it's Kevin Patullo's fault. You got to know when you hire the guy that he's going to need a little bit of time and a little bit of patience and a little bit of help. And so I like the fact that guys like Devontae are going to him and saying, yo, this is working. Let's get this deep shot dialed up. That should happen no matter what your offensive coordinator's experience is. I remember last year during the bye week, the offensive line went to Kellen Moore and was like, yo, let's run the football here. And they started running the football, and they were dominant doing that. So
and it worked.
And Kellen Moore's a head coach now. So, even he had to be told a little bit yo, we're seeing this. Can we start doing something different here? So, if you got to tell the 6-year guy that, then you're going to have to tell a first-year guy that. So I'm glad that the team knows that and cares and wants to collaborate. And I think it's a collaborative effort. It will continue to be. And you're right. I wouldn't be surprised. It's only been 9 football games. It's crazy because we're talking like we've been playing for 100 years. We play so much damn football because we go so deep in the playoffs every year. But we have played only 9 games this season. We still have another – I guess that's 8 left, right? 8. So it's like half
almost
the
smack
season.
dab in the middle.
Right. We have literally a whole. It's like a whole other season. You got September and October football, and then you got November and December football. It's like 2 seasons. So we're in the November, December, and I think it's going to start coming off the bye. A little, tough game, tough matchup. Lambeau Field cold. Coming home now, big game. Let's start seeing some stuff.
I was going to say, it's start seeing some stuff time, which this feels like the exact same time as last year. They struggled in September, started to put it together in October against weaker teams. November, December was a different season. January, February was a different season. They they grew each quarter. They always throw that term around in corporate America all the time. You want to see quarterly growth, return on investment. You got it from the Eagles. We need to see it again.
Yeah. It's like thirds, man, breaking the season up now that you think about, September, October is almost like a preseason into the early season because they use September as that preseason. We had tough games in our preseason September this year. And then we go into October, like you said, kind of get a couple lighter games. And then November and December, that's another pocket. And then January, February is that third stage, that third that you got to get through and grind through. But it's a journey, and it's exciting as a fan, and I'm sure these players are eager to get out there and play on Sunday Night Football. Another 2 straight primetime games. Can't wait. It's going to be exciting.
I can't wait. Like you mentioned, those different thirds. I hope we're having that January, February 3rd again. But first, you got to take care of business and get the 1 seed. It starts Sunday night against the Lions. I think both you and I are pretty confident in it. I'm excited, and I think it'll be an offensive shootout. So we'll see. We'll be covering it. I'm sure we'll both be tweeting about it too. So, Tom, I appreciate you joining me tonight. We've been going back and forth on Twitter. I wanted to have you on because I felt like we shared a lot of opinions on where the team is at and where the team is going. So I do appreciate you joining me tonight. I wanted to give you the opportunity. Shout out where everybody can find you, where they can find all of your work and follow you going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm on Twitter. Mostly that's where my Eagles content is. It's at Tom Stakes. Stakes like high stakes, gambling stakes. Or if you want to say it the way that it was initially intended, it's Tom's Takes. And then they started calling me Tom Stakes, so I kind of adopted the name. That's how you remember the at handle. And then I'm the same on Instagram as well. It's just more on my personal Instagram. But if you feel like you want to give me a follow on there, I post some Eagles stuff on there too. But Twitter is where you want to be for the fireworks, so get ready for it.
I love it. And I've definitely joined in on that. Well, Tom, I appreciate it. I think we'll have to have you on as we get into our back third, the November-December season after we get through this game, and we'll talk again in December on a show like this and see where the team is at. And if we get through this week, I have a pretty good feeling. Appreciate it, man.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Appreciate you, man.